Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of the Disc Golf Answerman. I am Bobby Cool Daddy Slick Breeze. I have with me Robert McCall.
What's up?
We are transmitting from Emporia, Kansas in the remote location we cannot disclose where we're at now. Where we've always been for a while now.
Yeah, it's in my basement.
The YouTube's folks, though, are appreciating a new little background we put behind us to give us a little more professional look. But our special guest that we are super excited about via Zoom is Eric Oakley from Florida. How are you, Eric?
We are great. And another special guest.
Tina!
I'm the special guest, then you're my special guest. Yeah.
Oh.
Special guest of special guest. And the special guest, Spout.
I mean, I would consider Tina a more special guest than Spout. That's personal. But, whatever.
Yes, booters.
Okay. All right, cool. How's gardening life, Tina?
How's gardening life, Tina?
Really good. Other than all my stuff that's dying. So it's fun.
Dang. Sorry, man.
What happens? No more garden?
She said a bunch of her stuff is dying in the garden right now, unfortunately.
Okay. We'll move on to another subject then. Sorry.
Being nice.
Mm-hmm.
You better be nice to me.
When am I not nice to you, Tina? What the heck?
When is he not nice? What the heck?
Bobby's mean to me all the time.
Bobby is, but that was Robert.
It's true.
I noticed the what the heck.
What the heck?
All right, so I'm going to bring up the questions here. So anyway, what is going on there in Florida with you guys? I mean, now, of course, if you guys follow us on YouTube or anywhere on social media, you know that these guys have been super active, producing video content for you, fun videos, serious videos, doing live fly march. I mean, they're just doing their thing, trying to do what they can do during the coronavirus pandemic. Sorry, wrong name, pandemic. But what's going on with you, though, Eric? Tell us a little bit more about the day-to-day life in Florida.
So, kind of how it goes is, AJ and Tina are up crazy early, and then I wake up and get after it. We're back and forth on the, how many days we kind of push to do content and things like that, because we could overwhelm ourselves and not really appreciate the time that we actually do have while we're out there. So it's been crazy, but all in all, it's been good. We've got a few other video ideas lined up that we're going to be shooting over the next few weeks. With the news that the season might not start until closer to July, we don't want to kind of stress or do anything too crazy. We're just like, okay, well, let's take a second. Let's do what we can. Let's push into getting content out whenever it makes sense. Because if anything, Tina's doing most of the editing, and if anybody knows Tina, she works constantly. So we don't want to do too much of that. But all in all, we're watching a lot of TV, relaxing, staying healthy to a relatively good extent, and making things work. Just making things work. That's pretty much it. And I think you guys get it. It's the same way as you only can do so much, right. And we're in a weird spot because I've had a few moments where I'm like, I should not be here. I should be training for a tournament. I should be doing something different, and I'm just not. So yeah, that's where I'm at.
Any particular shows you guys are binging?
AJ hasn't seen Stranger Things, so we're catching him up on Stranger Things. And Tina called me. Nice. Well played, Tina. Stranger Things for AJ, since he hasn't seen it. Umbrella Academy. AJ hasn't seen it as well. And that's pretty much it. So we've been diving into a lot of movies too. It's been good.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Dig it.
We'll talk a little bit more about shows in the after show. We dig in that a little bit more. So yeah, like you said, you're trying to get through this odd time. And I was listening to somebody I watch on Instagram. I follow on Instagram. He was saying that we need to stop worrying about. We need to stop going forward as if we're ready to, or since there's so much uncertainty, we need to stop saying, okay, well, I'll just do what I do now, and then come this date when things are back to normal, I'll get back at it.
Right.
You know, you can't do that, and you got to change that to how do I continue in this environment? And so I've tried to have that focus in my head is that I can't just think, I'll just do what I need to get by until things get back to a little bit of normal. I just have to say, okay, how do I just function the way it is, the way things are right now?
This is your new normal now.
Correct.
Like treat this as that.
So one thing that I've kind of thought about is and this comes from the things that I've chosen to do, is I haven't been like 100%. I'm going to the field. I'm going to the putt. I'm going to putt so much. I'm going to go throw so much. I've been very smart about not exacerbating how much I'm focusing on disc golf, because I would love to kind of make use of this time to keep myself very hungry when disc golf comes back, like come back with this new sense of I'm ready to go, but I don't want to go into that of feeling lethargic. Like I've played all those tournaments in my head 30,000 times because all I've been thinking about is disc golf. So that's been a big thing that we've been trying to focus on, is distracting ourselves. Like, to do stuff to stay active, I bought running shoes. I was like, I need to have something. I can't go to the gym and ride the bike, which I would prefer to do. So what can I do? Buy something new, get some good running shoes, and so you feel comfortable when you go out and run. And that's been motivating me to do stuff like that to stay healthy. But notice that's not I'm focusing on disc golf.
Right.
I'm doing that whenever it makes sense. Like I'll probably throw 5 out of 7 days in the week, and I'll putt probably about 5 out of the 7 days, but I'm making use of the time that I'm not throwing to relax, recoup, focus on, put my brain other places, if that makes sense. So I'm not just putting myself in the ground and like making myself miss it even more. Right. And then now the pandemic is just the quarantine is the worst. It's like, no, I'm enjoying a little bit of downtime,
right?
Staying healthy and throwing whenever I can, but I'm not putting all my energy into disc golf. Absolutely. And I think that's really good right now, because if I was, then I'd be the same people who are posting, at the courses when they shouldn't be. Right. Be the same people who are, making the nostalgia post. I wish I was playing, blah blah blah. It's like, yeah, we all do. Like, let's not
kid ourselves. We want to be out there.
Yeah, but it's like, so you're saying what everybody already feels. It's like, so why not make the most of this time by enjoying the time you have? By Tina and I are, we do a garden walk every day to check on Tina's garden and see how things have grown. We do that every single morning. We go while it's dying, so we have these routines that make things feel normal and give us some sense of joy. And so we're just, again, we're focusing on more of the positives, not just the woe is me. Why aren't we playing? This is the worst PDGA. Blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't want to do that. And I genuinely think my mind, I feel super good when I go out and throw in the field. I have a lot of energy. I feel I'm hyped when I'm out there, and that's the positives. But then whenever I'm done in the field, I've let it go, and I'm ready to kind of ranted there a little bit.
No, you're fine.
God, why are you so mad, Eric?
Yeah, mad at the world. All right, so now that we've caught up with Eric and heard his soapbox, we can let's get to the disc golf questions, the meat of the matter, the whole reason that people tune in. Let's see. First one comes from Justin. He says, hey, guys, I'm thinking about changing from the Judge to either the Gauntlet or the Makana. What are your thoughts on those two putters as compared to the Judge? I want a driving putter and a putting putter. Thanks for the help.
Eric?
What do you guys think?
Hold on one second.
Is anyone surprised?
Is anyone surprised that he's calling? Yeah, of course.
Yes.
Very good. Wait, don't give his phone number.
Thank you for calling me. Okay.
All right. Okay. an EMAC or a Warden for the similar shot, just controlling the angle a little bit more. So I would suggest, I don't think he can go wrong with any of the options he's chosen. I think he just needs to take all of those out, throw them in the field, put them in the basket, and something will click very soon.
Nice.
Cool. Excellent. All right, next question comes from Alan. Hey, DeGam fam, I have a putting question. I have been practicing putting more lately, and I feel like I have been missing more than I used to. One thing I've noticed is I've been missing short a lot. I currently putt with the medium caltrop, and I was wondering if using such a overstable putter can help cause short misses. Would switching to something less overstable with more glide help? I thought about giving the Judge or a Dagger a shot. How similar would you say those two are?
Judge and Dagger are going to be very similar. I think the Dagger has a little bit more glide. It's a little bit floatier in a lot of cases. I have seen a lot of people use a more beat up disc or less stable version of a disc they have for longer putts. So that's, I look at James Conrad as a prime example here of, he has his green Judge that he uses or his green AVR. Probably would be a Judge if he was with us.
Breaking news. Yeah. James Conrad.
If he was using, if his AVR, but he doesn't really use that inside the circle. He uses that mainly for turnovers off the tee and longer jump putts. So I think for this person in particular, it's like you could try those, but I tend to lean on using the same mold. So if I ever get to that distance, I think it's just I need to jump and I need to angle it better. I don't need to change the disc in my hand to make more circle 2 putts. So that's my personal preference, but I do know people who I have a deputy in the bag for circle 2 putts because it just kind of gets there and glides a little bit more. So I don't think you can go wrong with trying something else. So I would suggest giving it a shot. The Judge or the Dagger are still going to be pretty stable at the tail end of their finishes. Not like what he's used to, but still has some fade. But if you were to go with a Swan or Deputy, something like that, you might see the change that you might be looking for.
Yes.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go on to the next question. This one is from Tate. Not a big fan of the EMAC Truth. Whoa.
Wow, good thing Eric's not on
I
this
know,
week.
Good thing not the other Eric.
You just shut it all down.
And the normal Truth is too understable for the shots I'm looking to cover in my bag. I'm thinking about the Mace or the Gatekeeper. Which would you recommend?
I think that the Gatekeeper sits between those a little bit better than the Mace. The Mace is going to be a similar stability to the EMAC Truth, if not a little bit more overstable. But the Gatekeeper, for me, kind of sits in between the EMAC Truth and the Truth. It's a little bit slower, so you're not going to get quite as much distance out of it as you would one of those two. But if you're looking for one in the middle, that's what I would suggest.
Agreed.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. But also throw an EMAC Truth. Like you might be throwing different runs, or you got a bad run, but all in all, if you get one of the brand new ones that doesn't have any flashing, it's comfortably one of the best mids on the market. So be stupid not to throw it.
I agree.
Okay, so this question was originally sent in for Zach Melton. Must have sent it after he was on the show, I guess, because we didn't.
Town.
So we're gonna substitute your name for it.
Okay.
Why are you a left-handed?
Right. Yeah.
That's what he said. So that's what he said.
Greetings to Bobby, Cool Daddy, Slick Breeze, Robert, Not Too Tall, McCall, and
that's accurate.
Eric.
Yeah.
Don't mention Virginia. Well, it doesn't apply to you, I guess. Don't mention Virginia. I've been listening for a long time and really enjoy the show. I wanted to ask Zach, now Eric, what tourneys have you played in Kansas? Also, do you have a favorite Kansas course tournament? What about elsewhere in the country? Thanks to GAM fam. Thanks for all of the information over the years. This show is fantastic.
It's fantastic.
Well, you see, when I make it down to Emporia, I just love playing the GBO. It sets up real good for all my left-handed hazers. Realistically, that's my trying to make fun of Zach.
Did you call Zach just now? Because it was basically him.
Roasted.
Yeah, speakerphone.
GBO is the best tournament in Kansas, and that's not even a real question. the Kansas City wide open? Is that what
That's
side
in
of the
Kansas,
line were we
yes.
on?
Oh.
Was it?
Waterworks is on the Missouri side, I believe.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Oh,
if you're saying it's a Kansas, I think you could say it's a Kansas tournament.
Yeah.
Because,
So I'd put that.
because Waiko is on the Kansas side for sure.
Yeah. I'd put it as that would be number 2 on the list. Kansas City wide open, especially when you go play Blue Valley for the pro field. Swope Gold wasn't the biggest fan, but it was a good course for what it asked of you. But GBO is hard to beat, and the Country Club is a fantastic option, and I'm really excited for Jones Gold whenever we get to play it. Yep. So that would be it.
What are some of your other favorite tournaments, just off the top of your head, like three that you look forward to every year, wherever they are?
Green Mountain Championships,
Yep.
Maple Hill, Masters Cup.
Yep. Sweet.
And missing one of those. But I am excited to go back to places like Ledgestone to play Northwood again, and Portland Open to play Blue Lake are all going to be really fun. So,
yeah. Green Mountain, for the people who haven't been out there, people talk about Maple Hill a lot, and they should. It's an unbelievable course. And people talk about Beaver State a lot. They talk about Milo, and they should. It's a beautiful place. But if you haven't been out to Green Mountain up in Vermont, you have to check it out. It's one of my favorite places on earth. It's beautiful disc golf courses. Usually when they go up there, it's like September-ish, so the weather's cooling down, the leaves are turning. It's an incredible place to go.
It's and the what it does as well is, like, you get it at Maple Hill, you get 18 holes of a mixture of woods and open.
Right.
Where at Green Mountain, you get a mixture of woods and open on 36 holes.
Yeah.
So you get 2 totally different courses. So you're getting double the fun at that point, and the scenery is exceptional and whatnot. But I do think some things about tournaments is, you gotta have the good variety to want to bring people back, and then you gotta have the atmosphere. So one thing that, like, Maple Hill, GBO, Green Mountain has going for it is Maple Hill, everybody kind of hangs out at the course. Green Mountain, you have the Fall Festival. GBO, you have the Fly Mart, and the fact that the Emporia is completely surrounded with people. If you go to, like, this isn't I don't want this to look as I'm any slight at the Jonesboro Open, like, one of my favorite tournaments, and I think it's one of the best courses we play for our skill sets, and can only get better, but it lacks that atmosphere to keep you there, because
right.
I mean, in this, Jonesboro, Arkansas is not a big booming town with a lot of history and surrounding areas that are visually stunning and beautiful. So you kind of miss out on that. But that's a prime example of why a lot of people don't say that Jonesboro is their favorite tournament. They might say it's their favorite course, but it's never going to be their favorite tournament, because the atmospheres at those other 3 is just so much higher.
Feel you. I feel you.
Mm-hmm.
This next one is from Jake from CLE.
Seattle.
Where's CLE?
Seattle.
No,
Cleveland.
CLE.
Cleveland.
Oh, Cleveland. Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Cleveland.
I used to watch that show. It's called Cleveland, right?
From, like, based off of Family Guy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
You would watch that show,
Oh,
Poppy?
that show's hilarious. Hey, Disc Golf Answer Man crew, Jake from Cleveland.
Well, yeah.
You were right.
Of course. It starts CLE. What else could it be?
It could be a
Cleopatra.
Yeah.
Nice.
Cleonola.
No.
I recently bought a Renegade, and I'm thinking about buying a Sapphire as well. I would say, skill-wise, I'm close to Bobby. So you must be a rock star.
Ballin' out.
Yes. I know he's bags the Renegade. I do. Several. Would it be worth it to bag a Sapphire as well, or are they too close to the same disc?
I think the Sapphire might have a little bit more distance potential because of the lightweight aspect that it has. I think it has a little bit more glide than the Renegade personally, but I could see somebody carrying both for windy situations. Like, if the Renegade is your main driver, in dead wind, you could probably get a little bit more distance out of the Sapphire, but in windy situations, you'd probably want to throw the Renegade more often just because of the weight difference. Otherwise, I would say their flights are pretty similar, I think.
Yeah, from watching people throw the Sapphire, I was was very surprised with how much fade it had at the end, but it's not a bad fade. It's not like it breaks out of its flight and then like wants to get to the ground. It's like, all right, does its thing, and like, oh yeah, now I'm gonna fade. And that's kind of what I see in the Sapphire, where the Renegade, it's similar, but it's like has a lot of turn, a little less fade, and it doesn't just fall out of the air. But I don't know, like when it comes to, you could easily use them both. Like it just all depends. And I'm very surprised when I've seen people throw the Sapphire at how good that disc is, and how it's the perfect progression for people who are used to that lightweight stuff. So I think more people should actually be throwing it, but also should actually not be scared to throw stuff like the Breakout, the Diamond, and the Jade.
Yeah, I want to. The Sapphire came. It was still bad weather here, wasn't it, when they came on here? Yep. And then, of course, everything kind of rolled into the COVID-19. So I never had a chance to really get out and throw it. I'm anxious to get out there and throw it.
Yeah, you'd like it. But, I mean, even people who throw like really far, who normally wouldn't have a use for something like the Renegade, I've seen them smash the Sapphire. I think it's a little bit more overstable, personally. They go far.
All right, so we have a question from Maureen K. Vandenheuvel.
I was going to say, sounds like Anthony's mom.
Yes.
It's a question about disc golf terminology. Apparently, she does not want to go to her son for disc golf help. She wants to come to the disc golf answer.
To be fair, I've never known Anthony to know the answer to anything.
This is true.
So.
Disc golf has its own terminology. People like myself sometimes have no idea what some of those words mean. If there was a disc golf terminology dictionary, what 5 words would you each put in it? And hi to everyone. This is Anthony's mom.
Nice.
So hi to everyone from Maureen except for Anthony.
Ha! In your face,
Got
Anthony.
Got it.
Marina is the nicest person on planet Earth.
Oh, yeah,
These are the facts.
Comfortably.
Yeah.
Comfortably.
Yeah.
We enjoyed, she made some cookies for everybody.
Yeah, and I've stayed with them a couple of times when I went to play Delwood up there with Anthony, and yeah, they're just super great.
So what are some words that we can come up with that we would put into a disc golf terminology dictionary?
I mean, one of the big ones that people debate about is stable. Everyone argues over whether that means overstable or straight. And if we were making our own glossary, I guess, we would want to include that and say what we think it is. And so I think for the sake of clarity, you would say that a stable disc is a straight disc or a neutral flying disc. Now, if you give someone an enforcer and they say, is it stable? You just need to know in that situation, they more than likely mean, is it overstable? They're not asking, is it straight? But that's just one of the quirks that we have in disc golf.
What about you? Oh, you're done. I'm sorry.
That's the one that came to my mind very
first.
Do
you have one, Eric, like a word that you think it would be found in a glossary of terms for disc golf or a dictionary? I would see one that I can think of that would be another debate would probably be Thumber and Scooby. And
Grenade and Scooby.
Grenade, Scoobies, and everything that could have.
I remember Miles Seaborn did
Land Shark.
Yeah,
and
he did a video.
Tombstone, yeah.
And I think we called it a Scooby shot, and everybody was, that's not a Scooby. I mean, they were.
I call it a grenade, but that's just me.
You were one of the ones, weren't you?
I was. I started a fuss.
So Tombstone, that would be a good one to put in. What was the one before you said Tombstone?
We saw Scuba Thummy, Tombstone, Land Shark.
Land Shark. I don't even know Land Shark. Is that the same as Tombstone?
Yeah, same thing as a Tombstone.
Yeah,
and
go ahead.
And here's the thing: let's call it what it is. Is it doesn't matter what you call it. Like as long as I would love to see, what Maureen would call a lot of the things. Just like have us throw it, and she gives whatever her terminology is, or find somebody who's not, because I think that would be a wonderful video to kind of create some new terminology.
Yeah, explain this disc. You who does not play disc golf, I would love to hear that. That'd be awesome.
That'd be good, like a man on the street type thing.
Yeah.
Hey,
watch me throw this real quick.
What do you think this is?
Yeah, and then just tell me what you think about it.
A floop-de-doop.
Yeah. Yes.
A flippity-floppity.
A couple in the chat. We got AJ Risley in here, so I mean, that's good. And he said discs do not hyzer out. We throw them with hyzer. So yeah, I would agree.
Ooh.
Hyzer and anhyzer are initial angles. They are not like
So
a disc fades at the end of the flight.
That's what I was, you should say fade and not hyzered out.
Yeah, and then the other one that I hear people ask about all the time is hyzer flip. People say, like, what does that mean? I mean, I think it's self-explanatory, but if you haven't done it before, then maybe you're not used to seeing it. But hyzer flip is when you start a disc on a hyzer angle and it either flips up to flat or even over to an anhyzer, usually done with a pretty understable disc. There was one, patent pending. That's one that people ask about all the time. That's kind of like a backwards stance to get yourself.
But why is it? Why that? The origin.
Do you really not know?
No.
The people that talk about it say that Ken Climo and Barry Schultz went back and forth on who created the shot, and they said since they couldn't agree on it, they would say, okay, it's patent pending. Because they both threw it quite a bit before it was very popular. I'm sure it was around before that, but that's the story that I've heard about it. So
That's cool. That's cool.
Yep.
Cool. All right, next question comes from John. He wants to know about a suspect retool. Any chance DD will rework the suspect mold to get a little more stability out of that mold? I still bag a zone because the suspect is a touch less stable in all types of plastic. I would love to have an alt DD bag, but really like the more shallow disc for forehand approaches, like the suspect and the zone, as opposed to the deeper disc harp or slammer.
The slammer.
Justice. Honestly, I know that the Justice has a bead, but it doesn't feel as deep as a harp, in my opinion. It's probably pretty close, but it's definitely not as deep as a slammer. I know that the suspect is something that you'd probably want to be more overstable, and there was the hand-eye Lucid X ones that were done, and I would definitely try and pick some of those up. I think there was some other signature series done as well with Lucid X plastic that you could easily find and give that a shot to see if that fills the ticket. But I don't think that there are many discs on the market that even come close to the zone anyways. And I think there's stuff that resembles it, but if you are more interested in having that full DD bag, then you kind of have to, if you want something that's more stable, you should bag a Justice and beat one up. I personally have a Justice that's been in the bag for a very long time, and it flies amazingly, and I can keep it straight, and I can do different things with it, but it still is very overstable. So a Biofusion Justice might be exactly what you'd want that will season in a little bit faster, so it's not stupid overstable, but you can get some flight out of it instead, or until we retool. I know that there's always stuff going on of making discs better, improving stuff in the factories in Sweden. And, I've had conversations with those guys a bunch about the stock Felons not being overstable enough, the stock Enforcers not being overstable enough, like old runs were. But that's the process of plastic changing. That's the process of mold changing and their technology changing. And they're finding different ways every single day to make things better. So hopefully soon, maybe there will be a suspect that is exactly what you're looking for. But also, the suspect wasn't necessarily made to be that overstable.
Right.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Robert or Bobby.
I mean, I don't know what the
wrong.
Yeah.
Oh.
Sorry, Bobby said you're wrong. No, I don't know what the original intent was when it was made. But I'll agree with you. I think the suspect, in my opinion, isn't really intended to compete with the zone in terms of stability. I think you can throw a suspect a little bit farther. It's kind of a tweener disc. But if I was going to suggest one to you, it's not specifically a DD disc, but you should check out the Anvil. It's a wider diameter than the suspect, but it's less overstable than a Justice. I really like the special edition Anvils. If you find a tournament plastic one, you can beat it up a little bit, but I think that's probably stability wise and distance wise the closest thing that we have to a zone right now. I think you could probably stretch it a little farther than a zone, but that's what I think our best option is in kind of our group of discs right now.
That's probably another term we'd have to put in that dictionary. Beat it up.
Yeah, punch it.
Yeah. All right, next question comes from Tim. He must be a brand new to our manufacturing fold.
I like it.
Based off this question, can DD Latitude 64 Westside Discs Pros add the new Latitude 64 produced Discmania disc to their bag on tour? For example, if a DD Pro was throwing suspects and wanted to bag a Discmania Tactic, would they be able to without having a contract issue? I know some of the other disc makers allow their pros to throw other branded discs as long as they are made out of the same factory. and was just wondering how that would work with Lat64 now producing discs for Discmania. Love the show. Stay safe. So no. The answer is no. A Latitude, DD, or Westside Disc sponsored player would not be able to. Although they come out of the same factory, it is in fact a different brand. Now, Westside, DD, and Latitude are different brands as well. They come out of the same factory, but we're connected more. In the beginning, we decided to be more connected than, say, Discmania is to us.
For sure.
So yeah, that's and when you say other manufacturers, I'm not. He may be confusing what maybe like Innova, Discmania, and
Millennium. Bomb.
Yeah. So yes, those come from the same factory, but they have an agreement. They have a thing that says it's okay for them to.
Yeah.
Although,
they're all under the same umbrella, where
yeah.
Discmania is its own umbrella. Now, they have, in this situation, like, the Discmania stuff that's made by Latitude is its own, like, extension of the umbrella, but it's like, maybe it's its own, like, pop-up umbrella to keep your bag dry. Yeah. If you will, you have you have an umbrella that's keeping you dry, and all the companies in there. Oh, but you have this other branch, but you have this umbrella that's touching the Discmania. It's a hard analogy to paint, but that's just what it is. Is Discmania is doing bigger, better things to try and grow their brands, and I think that working with Latitude is good.
And they want that Swedish plastic.
Mm-hmm. They want that good.
That good. Next one comes from Jordan on shoulder rotation. Hello, I hate to admit, but I am a rounder. Well, the first step is to admit your problem, so you're good. I've been trying to.
You're not square. Got him.
I've been trying to fix my form. I've noticed when I video myself that I don't bee the disc. What? I don't bee the disc through the power pocket.
He probably just tried to type "bring" and missed it.
Yeah, bring the disc through the power pocket and round out of it instead. This has been harder to fix than expected. My question is, how far do I rotate my shoulders? I believe one of my issues might be that I over-rotate, and this causes me to leave the power pocket early. Do you have any tips? And P.S. Bobby is my favorite disc golfer!
Dang.
Did it.
Today is the day that Bobby arrived. Bam.
Okay.
Remember this day, 4/21, 2020.
Talk about getting the disc into that power pocket, Eric, and avoid rounding. So
one thing that I've always done with people that I've worked with and have issues with rounding is I over exaggerate. Well, first off, make sure your plant foot is getting out in front of you. If they're getting their plant foot out in front of them and they're still rounding, now we move on to the next step. So double check on your form. Make sure your feet aren't coming parallel with each other. Make sure they're staggered. If they're staggered, that's good. If they're not staggered, there's only one way to really throw the disc, and that is to round, and that's why we don't want that to happen. Stagger those feet, and you will find success. Now, if you do have that front foot out and you are still rounding, put something visual to the back left of the T-pad that you can see, like your bag or a bright colored disc on the ground. And the goal is, as you're approaching the end of the T-pad, you are reaching back towards that disc, towards that color bag, whatever it is, towards that object that you've placed in your peripheral vision. You are reaching back towards that and still following through to the target that you want. That will keep the disc from coming towards your left shoulder. Another thing that you could also look into doing is look at film of Nate Doss. He does a bit, or Barry Schultz.
I thought you were going to say
push
Jimmy
the disc
Fallon.
out.
Why?
I don't know. Just I said watch video of Jimmy Fallon. I watch video of Jimmy Fallon, so sorry.
So they wide rail by pushing the disc out, and then they allow their body to kind of get forward, and the disc naturally gets to that position that's straight back and doesn't round around their shoulder. I would suggest doing the first two things first, and then if you were still having issues, look at Nate and Barry, Nate Doss, Barry Schultz later. But again, check your feet. If your feet are there, then find a way to reach back to something. Also, slow down. More often than not, you're trying really hard to throw the disc super hard, which is causing you to overextend in your reach back and causing you to round. It is you don't have to throw it hard to make the disc go far.
Yeah, that disc on the back left of the tee pad, that's a fantastic tip. I hadn't heard that before, but that makes a ton of sense. And as someone who is prone to rounding, I will try it next time I go out there. 100%.
I teach it that way all the time.
Yes. Huh?
I teach it that way all the time.
Is that right?
Yeah.
You don't round ever, though? You don't think? You have perfect form? I knew it.
He
knew
said
it.
I was his favorite disc golfer.
I mean, that's what he said.
Obviously, because I don't round.
These are the facts.
Next question comes from Josh. Hey guys, Robert last week described the optional relief ruling when throwing EB.
OB?
Why did I say EB?
I don't know.
He envisioned a hole and a throw where there is room to move straight back. But let's say it's a hole where the fairway moves right to left and a river runs along the right side. If you throw into that river, would you not get optional relief backwards down the fairway because of the OB that is now behind your line?
Yes.
Does line of play always report to the basket?
Yes.
And not the line into the line it went OB on?
Okay, here you go.
Here it is.
Here's the clarification. So you're talking about a fairway that goes right to left, and there's a river long of that fairway, so on the right side of the fairway. If you throw into that river long, then you find where the disc went out of bounds, and then from there, you have a line as far back as you want to in line with the basket.
In play.
Yeah, in play. So you can't take a stance out of bounds or anything like that. And it also doesn't say like you have infinity. So you pick your line, even if it's 60 feet behind where you threw out of bounds. Pick your best spot, but it has to be in line with where the disc went out of bounds and the line of the basket. So if you're talking about a fairway that goes from right to left, the basket's up on the left, and you threw it out of bounds right. You take your little bit of your meter in, and then you just have to go back along that, pretty much along the creek as far as you can, to get in play. Now, if unfortunately for you, if that creek kind of curves back toward the tee box, and there's no safe or inbounds place for you to stand, then you just have to take your meter, and it's tough luck. The only time the line of play is different is if there's a mando in play that you can't see if the mando is farther outside of the basket where you can't see the basket. Okay, so if you're playing a hole like if this hole has down the fairway a mando on the right side that you have to pass to the left of, and the basket now is back even to the right of that mando. If you throw out of bounds in the creek straight in front of you, now your line of play is to the mando as long as you don't have line of sight to the basket, because that's the next place that you have to throw through. Does that make sense? It's a little tricky rule, but when you know it, it comes in handy big time. I mean, absolutely huge to know this rule in situations like maybe where there's a ton of brush that you go out of bounds in, but you can back up all the way to level ground and
to be able to get the disc up over stuff,
or
and
throw something, the forehand around the corner, or whatever the case may be. So
yeah, there's I think it's hole 15 at the European Open. It's a long downhill par 4 that has a OB creek and OB on the left side, and OB creek right in the middle, and then you're trying to blast over that creek, land on the other side. Pretty routine sidearm. So that's why I always went for the bailout left. So if I stuck it inbounds, boom, birdie. If not, I bailed out left, so I'm up there with an easy sidearm for the par 4. But we saw a lot of players flip it over to the right and end up OB, but there's a lot of trees and stuff like that. So it made the most sense to come straight back and then be able to throw over the trees or throw around the trees now.
Yep.
And you didn't see that many people actually make use of that rule because it was usually the hole was backed up a couple cards. But it being a newer rule definitely is why a lot of people don't fully know it.
Yep.
And the interpretation hasn't been on full display on like a Jomez card or something like that. So I think once we have a tournament where that does come into play, and then you get the commentators talking about why they're doing this and what it does, why like explaining the rule, I think then more people will actually start to understand it and apply it. Especially the casuals, the AMs, and stuff like that. Because trust me, you don't want a bad lie, but if you can improve your lie at any point, you do it. You do it within the rules. You absolutely do it.
100%. Yeah, it's written in for that reason.
Mm-hmm.
Use the rules to your advantage. Like it's not like you're cutting a corner. It's written into the rules. So knowing that this is like another rule that people I think forget about is that you always have the option to replay from your previous lie plus a stroke, right?
Yep.
And this comes into play if you're putting like on you have an uphill putt, you hit the cage and it rolls 100 feet behind you to out of bounds.
18 Country Club, you hit the cage, you roll off that, you roll all the way down to the water OB, but you were 25 feet away, you re-putt.
You putt from that 25-footer. It's not cheating, it's not bending the rules, it's following the rules and knowing the rules to your advantage.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff like that. Those are important rules to know for competitive disc golf.
There you go.
Yes.
All right, we have time for one last question. This one comes from Jason. It's on stretching, and I'm going to try to decipher what he typed because I'm not sure if he did speak to text or what, but it's not quite making sense reading it word for word. Hey, guys, looking to increase distance uphill especially and have been reading that stretching may be the way to go. What kind of stretching do you suggest?
Disc golf strong. Do the disc golf strong warm-up. You don't want to necessarily be stretching. Because you want to get your body moving and ready to throw. Uphill throwing is crazy. I spent a good part of my early career in playing and getting really big into playing in Utah. So what that did is we went to the Solitude Mountain Resort, and there are a couple holes where you're throwing basically straight uphill. So you really had to learn how to throw uphills, but we were on a tee pad, so that was really easy. So what I learned by doing that, I was throwing at high elevation and throwing uphill. So I learned that I would throw more understable up the hill, and I had to match the angle of the hill. So if I reached back straight back, I was throwing it too low and hitting the hill. If I reached back down, now I'm throwing up the hill. So my reach back had to match the plane of the hill, and that also works for throwing downhill as well. You need to match that plane. Now, if you're on a fairway, so this happens at a place like D-Glow. Hole 2 at D-Glow is a perfect example of the second shot having to throw it a lot uphill because you could, for the pros, we could realistically get there and have a putt for a 3. So big shot up the hill, big shot to the hill, big shot up the hill. So what we started to learn, and Zach Melton was actually the one who told me this, was I was usually running. I was doing my straight normal run up, but I was pulling stuff. It was coming early, and he told me to go dramatize the angle and shorten it and come a lot more to the right for me. So I was kind of running up on the side of the hill. So if the hill's coming this way, this is going to be really hard to do. If it was coming this way and I'm trying to throw up it, instead of coming up the hill on the run up, I was coming from here. I was coming almost sideways to then throw up because I'm not taking steps up to then throw. I'm just taking steps on almost the same elevation and plane to then throw up.
Right. It helps you to build momentum too, like you said.
Yes.
Because now you're not having to run uphill. You just take that sideways, and it's almost like you're setting up to throw a huge anhyzer.
Mm-hmm.
And in general, you kind of are. Like you don't want to throw hyzers uphill that much. You want to throw. You can throw something on a hyzer angle, but it needs to stand up or even get over to the right to glide up that hill. So I think that footwork helps you to gain momentum, but also to throw the type of shot that you need to get uphill.
And also be realistic with your expectations on throwing uphill. It is hard. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It is difficult. Nobody does it perfect every time. And if you go out and you put yourself in the situations to practice it and have to do it, just if you don't feel comfortable in your run-up, throw it as accurate and don't put yourself in any trouble. I learned that at D-Glow the 1 year I got to play there. I'm hoping to go back this year. Was I was really trying to go for the Eagle 3, and I actually ended up taking birdie out of play one of my rounds because I was trying too hard. And if I would have thrown a comfortable shot, maybe mid-range or neutral fairway driver, I probably would have had the simplest of birdies in the world. And instead, I had to really fight to even save par because I pulled it way into the woods. Put it that way. It was bad.
For sure.
All right, so that's all the time we have for Disc Golf Answer Man. Thank you so much, Eric, for helping with answering our disc golf questions. Where can people follow you, Eric, if they want to follow you and be annoyed? If they want to learn.
All right, so please start by following me on Instagram at the Eric Oakley. It's a great place. Make sure you check out Facebook. I think it's the Eric Oakley on there, or my fan page, the Eric Oakley. I actually am streaming on Twitch, so Twitch TV /AROC Oakley, AROC Oakley. That's been fun. That's a great. I'm going to be doing that during more of the quarantine, but I won't be continuing that while we're on the road. But also the biggest thing, go support us on Patreon, Whale Pants, and YouTube. Subscribe to the Whale Pants channel. We're putting out a lot of content in together with DD and stuff like that. So we will be posting a lot through there coming up. So please go check those out. And I appreciate all the support.
Yeah.
Nice.
For the YouTubers that are tuned in right now, tonight you're having are you sold out on that, or do you still have spots for a little hangout?
I think we might be done on those.
Okay.
Yeah, but we are doing a happy hour tonight, so people should definitely look out for that. We do some morning coffees. We're on YouTube that are really, really fun, where we just kind of pop on, chat. We're just live answering questions, drinking. So can't go wrong.
Noise.
Can I join?
Yeah, you should.
I think it'd be fun.
Yeah.
No.
Do you drink coffee?
No, I'm talking about the evening one.
I don't know. Talk to Tina. She's the boss.
She is the boss.
Sure, I should have just went straight to her and asked her.
As we're talking about, go ahead, Eric. Sorry.
I was gonna make a "Who's the Boss" reference. It's like it wouldn't even be a TV show with us because you already know Tina's the boss.
Yeah. There's no script. It's just like, it just says Tina, and then we move on. As we're talking about places to find us, if you want to submit your question, we got lots of time for questions now. Because guess what?
Lots of.
We've been at home for a long time.
Lots of.
So you can find us on discgolfanswerman.com if you want to submit a question there. And we'd also really appreciate it if you enjoy the podcast to subscribe to us on YouTube, as well as to turn on notifications. But also in the world of podcast, if you go to iTunes Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, if you will leave us a 5-star review on there, we would really appreciate that. That helps us to show up more frequently in the podcast rankings. And we just want more people to join in and enjoy our time together. So if you haven't done so already, go and drop us a 5-star rating. We'd really appreciate that.
Excellent. Thanks, guys. YouTubers, hang tight for hot takes.
Bye.
All right. A little bit of break. We're still live, Eric, but
We did it.
Take a little bit of break. Get your hot take ready.
Okay. Do you want to hear it, Robert?
Nope.
No.
It has to be.
It's
fresh.
first impression
Correct.
every time.
Mm-hmm.
Eric, I putted for the putting challenge. I did it with the classic hybrid Wardens. They feel good. They're not going to take, for me at least, they're not going to take first runs out of my bag.
Mm-hmm.
But they feel correct.
Nice.
Yes.
I want to try them out as a thrower.
Yeah.
Because I really like the blends. I'm not looking for them to be more stable. I just want to see how the plastic throws.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I'll ever switch away from the classic hard for
putting.
Putting because it just I'm dialed in on that.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, we're going to try to get Danny and Anthony in here.
Come on, in.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
What? Bobby, you can come to the happy hour tonight.
Yay.
I like that on here it says talking Bobby Brown, and then when Eric's talking, it says
Erico.
Erico, but
Yeah.
it looks like Erico.
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 Hey, who are you on the phone with? It's Erico.
Erico.
I'm so scared to move this chair very much because I 100% broke one of the other ones just by trying to move it.
Oh, everybody's seeing my emails. Anthony, Danny. Send. Hopefully you did. The password was too small for you guys, and you didn't see it. There we go. Anthony and Danny, try your email. I resent a link. See if that works. Too late, Anthony. I leaked the stream. I leaked it. So that's okay. People will just be in the waiting room and they'll sit there and wait. What is there a specific topic you guys are going to talk about tonight on your little happy hour?
No, I think it's just going to be hanging out.
Will you have room for me, or how does that work? Oh, okay.
Yeah, we do.
I mean,
And Tina wants you there. It'll be fun.
Okay, cool.
So that's the beauty of it is everything's good. We want people there because then you add value to what we're doing.
There's Anthony! And now we have Danny.
We did it.
We did
Hey,
it.
Anthony. Hey, Danny.
Hey. The problem is, Bobby, you also showed mine and Anthony's emails.
Yeah.
They were very small, though, so it's probably okay.
You probably can't see it.
It's probably all right.
I would
It's
imagine,
super hard to
knowing
guess.
my email that I put out there a lot, they could if they really wanted to, they could guess y'all's email.
Well, now that you say that, they can.
I'm
Gee.
sure they
I
could
don't
before.
know.
I'm sure they could before. All they'd have to do is go to our staff page and see everybody's email and figure it out.
Oh, does it have our emails on there?
It's got quite a few people's emails on there. I don't know if it has
a few
y'all's.
people on there.
Has the important people.
We talking about
Oh,
dropping
dang
people's personal emails?
Emails, yeah.
Dude, AJ, check it out.
Oh,
wait.
this-
There you go, Danny.
Oh,
Bobby's so embarrassed.
I don't
Oh
have one.
God, dude, that is so sick. Oh, dude, so sick.
Do you guys want to know what happened when I left my computer to go upstairs for a second? I set my headphones on my comma key.
There's like a million commas getting ready to be commented on
Oh,
YouTube.
Yes.
Nice.
I've been deleting for about 30 seconds, so I'll just go ahead and enter what I have.
You
Okay.
definitely should have just posted it, yeah.
Disc Golf Comedy
Oh.
leaked my email, so I might
I
as
have
well
too
tell
many.
y'all. It's DannyBigFlicks@dynamicdiscs.com. That's flicks with an X, so yeah. And the big is all caps when I write it, but like he didn't do it there. It's fine.
Oh my gosh, there is like a million commas. He's even doing
You know
like
you
a
can just
select.
like double or triple click and delete all of them, right?
No.
Oh, gotta let Sebastian in. He's barking.
No, just
Here, hold on.
Yeah, tap one at a time.
I finally got it. I finally got it down to 200.
Nice.
Oh, midgeting.
oh, sick media so sick, guys. It's so man.
Gentlemen, I'll have you know, Eric tried to tell me his hot take beforehand, and I said no.
Yep.
I want to hear it
You
at
did.
the same time as you.
I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure how like what the
Thanks, AJ.
rules were.
Oh, you must miss it every time you watch or you listen to us. You must miss how we do that. It's
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
It's understandable.
That's fine.
All right, I'm going to start recording. Here we go. Welcome to Disc Golf Audio's Disc Golf Hot Take. We have special guest Eric Oakley on the line. We also have Anthony and Danny, and of course myself and Robert McCall. Our special guest Eric Oakley, all the way from Florida, has our Disc Golf Hot Take. So, Eric, sock it to us.
Hold on.
All right.
Oh, wait,
Eric, hold
wait.
on, hold
Oh,
on.
yeah, we rate the
This
hot
is
takes too.
this is just so you know, Eric. You're about to say something. It might be controversial. It might not. You will be judged based on the
You will be
quality of your
judged.
hot take.
Yes.
Not by us a little bit, but by chat exclusively.
Yes.
I'm just so you
That's
know.
fine.
So be prepared.
Just so you know.
Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and preface a couple things that I think I'm very much acclimated for this situation.
Yeah,
Have
that's
you
right.
have you
Ridicule?
seen me throw?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. Okay, point taken.
Have you seen how tight my pants are?
Okay, also point taken. All right, let's do it.
So let's just understand that the chat can say whatever they want, and I'm pretty sure I've heard worse. So
All right, let's get it.
all right, here we go. Hot take is The PDGA has now banned the use of concrete tee pads in all sanctioned events. All pads must be converted to turf tee pads.
So are you for or against it?
I am for turf tee pads.
Okay, take 1 minute and say why.
Okay, so we can discuss a few key points when it comes to having turf tee pads. It's better for the environment of allowing for rain and things to go through into the ground beneath, and that is better for overall globally. Thinking globally, biodome. Got it.
Dude, Pauly Shore, man.
So thinking globally, and it's better for the environment. And then the next step is we are what that does is it looks to promote player health, because concrete tee pads are not good for people's ankles, knees, backs, hips, everything. It is not good for the general masses of people playing that they shouldn't be throwing on these types of surfaces. If they're throwing on a turf tee pad that is that has a good earth ground beneath it, then now you're actually going to take care of people's bodies and increase the length of time that they'll be able to play the sport of disc golf.
Yeah, a good earth ground. I agree with you.
Good
Okay.
earth.
You know what I mean by
Can't beat a
that.
good earth ground.
So far, the only part that I agree with is a good earth ground.
Yeah.
Good earth.
Everything else I disagree.
I need more
earth
information. Okay, I haven't played on much turf. How does turf do when you're playing in the rain?
It
Is
is
it-
just fine.
It seems like it'd be super slick. Anthony says thumbs down.
What turf pads have you played on it?
We have Anthony, who's played disc golf sometimes, or touring disc golfer. I'm going with Anthony on this one.
Yeah.
Yes,
Have you
thank
seen
you.
Eric's pants, by the way?
Oh, yeah, you're right. The pants.
Got me.
Yeah. I don't like turf tee pads in the rain. I will not play on turf tee pads in the snow.
We're
Oh,
not
why not
talking
the
about
snow?
snow. This is sanctioned events. We're
I will
talking
not play
mainly
disc golf
good-
in the snow, so we're doing okay.
Anybody
Okay,
who plays
fair.
disc golf in the snow is like, oh, I'm so hardcore. It's like, no, you're insane.
And half the chat left. Cool.
But the point is if you have quality turf pads, you have quality grip. And here's the thing is another thing to keep in mind when using turf pads over concrete pads. You talk about people complain about their shoes ripping. Obviously this shouldn't be the concern of the PDGA at all, or concern of most people. Your shoes will last longer on these turf pads. So I'm not saying you go in with a pair of Chucks and now you're going to be so good on turf pads. But if you use a turf, like a trail running shoe on a turf pad in the rain, I really don't think you're going to slip, especially if it's done right. Especially most of the European pads I've played on, they are absolutely quality, and if they're done the right way. Now that's the other part, is how do we do them the right way? It has to there needs to be a lot of videos. The PDGA should show how they want pads to be installed, and so that can be done correctly.
I'm on board.
So this may be a silly question, but what are turf tee pads made out of? What is the material? And if you just say turf,
I was gonna say it's.
but what is turf?
It's
made
actually
of?
in the. It's in the name.
I know that, but what is turf consist of?
Astro.
The artificial. This is actually.
Astro material. That's why they call it astro.
That's hence the name.
What is in turf?
I mean, I think
Is it
it's
a
just-
plastic? Is
Yeah,
it a rubber?
I think it's a plastic.
How
type
is that
material.
better for the environment? We're supposed to be getting rid of
I
plastic.
never agree with Bobby, but I agree with Bobby.
Okay,
So,
here's
Nick's
the
that
part of it.
point.
It's a durable material that doesn't wear down and end up in
So
the
is
environment.
plastic
Because-
bags from Walmart.
Sorry,
but
you
we try to
mean
get
more
rid of those.
durable? You mean more durable than concrete?
Yeah.
But concrete does not allow for anything to go through it.
Yeah.
That's the point.
Have you seen that viral Facebook video of the porous concrete? That stuff's got to be super cheap.
Yeah, so we just make all of them out of that.
Easily.
Okay,
Yeah.
here.
So-
Okay,
No, the thing is, like, turf is not, it's not like we're taking the turf and shaving it off and putting it in the environment. Like, yes, little bits are going to get torn
That's what
out
you
from
think.
people throwing, but compared to the impact that, like, when you make concrete, you never make exactly the amount you need. You have to throw away the extra from that. You have a lot of waste and stuff comes from just pouring the concrete. And I think that the amount that you save on that using turf offsets that.
All right, here it is.
Nice.
I think I like turf tee pads. Anytime I've played on them, I have enjoyed them. Here's the problem with turf tee pads. They take too much upkeep for every place to have them be what they need to be. So for the first 2 or 3 years, they're fantastic. Super duper good, great grip, better for the environment. But somebody has to manage those. And when they don't, you start to see the tee pads that have holes in them and that have little divots and that have tears. And when you get to that point, they're kind of beyond repair. You have to buy a whole new thing of turf. And I would argue, though, that makes you more prone to injury when you're playing on that type of tee pad than you are on concrete.
Of course. Now, how many concrete pads have you played on that are multiple years old and now have become slippery because of constant use, constant wear, which is more dangerous at that point? I think a slip is just as dangerous, if not more dangerous for players than you see a hole in a turf tee pad. Do you think you're going to avoid that spot? No, too often on a concrete pad that is too worn in and not what you're expecting it. Take Ledgestone before they put the grooves in it.
Sure.
As a prime example. They were brand new. If they're not done correctly, it is incredibly dangerous. There's video of me falling down at Ledgestone.
Right.
On a side,
nothing to do with the tee pad.
Got him.
So yes, I 100% hear you, but we're talking, what happens when they're both bad, which is worse. It's like, yeah, of course you can make arguments for both.
Yeah.
Plus,
but when they're both good, they're both good. But when they're both bad, it takes longer for concrete to get there than it does turf. That's where I'm at on this. So yes, you save some by I don't know what the cost of these is. But
$12.
It's $12 per tee, so it's actually a lot cheaper than I had anticipated.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the upkeep with turf is so much greater that now you're not just having to take material cost into it. You're also adding in labor costs and maintenance costs and somebody who actually knows what they're doing to take care of them. So while I agree that they're better, with everything being equal, I don't think it's a reasonable ask based on the amount of upkeep needed by more people than just like one person. If there's one person to maintain all of them perfectly, then that's awesome, and we could do it.
Let's go. This is probably the constant thing, is we should be comparing ourselves to golf, but let's compare it to golf. If you're playing a golf tournament, your tee pads are groomed, manicured, taken care of.
Sure.
Your greens, groomed, manicured, taken care of. Your fairways, same thing.
Sure.
It's the same concept we should be striving for in the sport of disc golf. Is we should be striving to have quality turf or quality tee pads, quality greens, quality fairways. So if you want to have a sanctioned event, you have to do this. If not, then you unsanction it and you run it on your concrete pads, and that's fine. The point is we should be trying to progress, and I think concrete pads are a thing of the past. I think they are something that we should be doing our best to move away from going forward. If we're talking real stuff, not in the fictitious situation we're in right now, where this is what's happening. Realistically, we should be moving away from concrete pads as much as possible for the overall growth of the sport and for everybody's health. Because,
also, as more turf tee pads get out there, people are going to know how to improve them or how to upkeep them better.
Mm-hmm.
I disagree on all counts.
Okay.
This was a stupid hot take. No.
No.
Hot takes aside, I agree. I vastly prefer playing on turf. 100%. I think if the upkeep were more reasonable and more people knew how to do it, you would see them in more places. It's just, I think municipalities see concrete and they're like, okay, here's something that'll last 20 years. Here's something that someone will have to mess with every few months or a year. Yeah, we'll go with the 20-year option.
But the club
and it's probably
could
the
easily be the people taking care of that.
Sure.
You have a lot of club members in a lot of places that
you
could
say
spend.
that, but there are times I see on Facebook there's strife and stuff going on in the club. They're suffering. They're financially not doing well. I mean, that's you can't. That can't be the automatic answer. Oh, the clubs can just take care of it.
No, I'm not saying that. Now, also we could go a whole different hot take that your city doesn't need 5 different clubs. Your city needs one big club of all those 500 people working together in the same entity. Just because Joe Schmo happens to be a D and you don't really like that guy, now you can't. Now we can't. Oh, we're gonna go make our own club because I think he stole money at this tournament. No, stop.
But what if he did, though, Eric?
But that's
go
what if he
together.
did steal
Right.
money?
And
Eric, what if he
I'm
did
not
steal
working
money?
with that
That's
guy.
a good utopian world.
Then you eliminate him from running stuff. You don't. support
Eric is
events.
arguing for hitmen in disc golf right now. I just heard it. No, anyway,
You're getting into the weeds now, but I mean that's
Yes.
the problem with that's the problem with
and we don't-
groups and things like that is that there are people in there, and that's just what happens when that's
I know,
just human
people
nature of
suck.
people.
And why do people suck? Why can't people just be good human beings?
That's
and
the hot
and
take.
then
That's
we
a
won't
fair
have
question.
any issues.
Yeah, that's a fair question. So to summarize,
That's an
I win
hot
and
take.
Eric loses. This has been a
Nope.
fun episode of Hot
I
Take.
think we need to
I'm
take-
just kidding.
I think we need to take that bouncy, rubbery stuff that they put on playgrounds and make those tee pads.
Dude, nice recycled
Someone in
tires.
chat suggested a Jello tee pad earlier. I'm on board for that. It's delicious.
Nice.
What about?
I would love to fall into it.
Yeah, really.
Like,
Hey,
oh no, dang it!
Eric, Brody Smith just jumped in the chat. He said, "I like this Eric guy." So
Hey, like you, Brody.
that's something.
Gotta
I
work
don't.
on that sidearm, brother.
Hey, he
Somebody's
wasn't.
on
He
your
wasn't
side.
talking about your hot take though. He said that was terrible.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. He didn't.
Chad never likes the hot take. Chad is never like, hot takes. They're always like, this one sucks.
Can we start referring to the chat as Chad? As it's
Chad.
just
I've
a
done
Hey,
that
Chad.
come
for a
on,
while,
Chad.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chad said this. Like, it's just so.
All right,
so
that's it.
good.
That's it for the hot takes, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Yeah, we'll see you on the next Disc Golf Hot Take.
Bye.
YouTubers, hang tight. We're just gonna
Bonus
chill and
mini
hang
hot
out.
take while we're transitioning.
I like it.
Uh-oh.
At one of the local courses
Disagree.
where I was. This is just a thing to talk about, not necessarily a hot take. One of the local courses where I was learning how to play. They got new tee pads in. They're nice, huge new tee pads, but they are. It's not a trapezoid. It's they're skinnier at one end and wider at the other,
Okay.
but otherwise rectangular, right?
Okay, sure.
Which end does the wide end go on? Does it go
The
on the basket side
back.
or on the back side? So does it
Back.
point towards the target or does it open up towards the target?
Those of you pointing toward the back of the tee pad are wrong.
It would point to the bigger end would be toward the basket, right?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, because of the
Yes.
different ways you're gonna attack the basket.
Bigger end toward
Okay.
the basket means because like you don't have as much happening at the beginning of the throw as you do at the end of the throw. So having more space up there is better than at the back.
Yeah.
I don't agree, but that's fine. I also.
Well, have you
how
seen
about- how
yourself throw?
Ha!
Yeah.
Here's another thing.
Get God!
Wait, I'm switching to front side. I'm switching
Yeah.
to front now. How about me?
How about let's not make them weird shapes? And if you're gonna go T pads, make them way bigger than they need to be. I've said this thousands of times. Is that in no instance have you ever heard somebody say, "Yeah, the T pads were just too big."
Yeah. Oh, these were massive. These
They're-
were huge.
Okay.
Right?
Then
I
it
think
doesn't
I wanna
matter.
say like,
Okay.
like 15 feet long. Like
yeah,
huge.
but you're talking cost.
Okay.
Bigger than that.
Okay,
Super wide.
new hot take: circle-sized tee pads.
Circle
Nah.
size or circle shape?
No, I'm saying circle one size,
Circle-sized.
32 feet
What's
10
the size
inches
of a circle?
diameter.
I'm in. Sign me up. If
I
every
am-
T pad could be that big, it'd be sick.
No,
Regarding the trapezoidal tee pads, you know where the basket is. You don't need an arrow-shaped tee pad telling you where the basket is.
Yeah.
I like having the wider front end because you could throw it. You could throw Anheuser. It widens up the amount of ways that you can attack them.
We should do a 50 hole layout and make them each the shape of the states.
dang.
Hey, kind
Like
of
Blue
To
Valley.
scale.
Blue Valley. Yeah,
Valley.
yeah.
Blue Valley has that, and that's
Oh.
why I like their T pads because they're huge.
Yeah,
Like,
they are
you-
massive.
You choose where you start. Too often, I think the issue comes with T pads is if you have to step up onto a T pad because you're run up, and I have a 3-step run up. If in 3 steps I'm still having to step up on a T pad, that thing is way too small.
You're going on a wall.
And also
You're just casually exercising.
too often the step down on the edge of T pads is also both those points are way too dangerous. If you ever have a drop off, you've done your T pads wrong. I'm sorry. If erosion happened, then you need to make an adjustment. Hence why turf pads, you can continue
Full
to
circle.
move them into the ground. Got him. The concrete pads stay there, and to remove a turf pad is 1,000 times easier than removing a concrete pad. Suck it, Robert, after the fact, hot take
take
win,
over.
baby. Overtime, baby.
Disagree.
Suck it.
Disagree.
From
You have
the
to
top rope, Eric Oakley.
You have to have been tied to go to overtime. It's clear that I was winning, so there was no over. I'm just kidding. We have a super chat from Old Folks Home, $1.99. He said, "I'm just trying to get some pew pew pew."
Oh yeah, we need to get some pew pew pew.
You're
Pew, 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 pew.
so you're on one. Yeah. So you'll have to turn your There you go.
Pew pew pew. That did not work.
Pew, 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 pew.
Pew
It's a
pew.
nice table.
Cool.
Yeah, look at that table.
Pew, pew.
Wow.
I don't think we're gonna get any pew pews.
Try
Dang it.
turning orange up again, and then
Sure, it's orange and not. It's green.
well, but they're both at mid, so you'd be able to hear them. Then press the button again.
Nothing.
Yeah, nothing.
Nothing. Nope. Sorry. No pew pews.
Sorry.
Dang it.
Thanks for the $1.99 though. And then there's one other super chat. Hold please. Ah! I pressed back on accident.
I can get
Oh,
it
you
if
hate
need.
to see it.
It was $5. I know that much. Hold please. I'm
Do you
getting
need the
to it.
name?
I'm getting to it. I'm
What
getting
am I
to it.
holding?
I'm getting to it. Clay Birch said, $5 super chat. Thank you, Clay. He said, I met Eric in a Safeway bathroom at Memorial 2018. Has been my favorite player ever since.
I do remember that. I was going into that Safeway to grab the Starbucks that was in there, and it was good.
Nice.
He's a good dude.
Yeah, I dig it. Yeah, I don't either. It's weird. Oh, here.
Eric, I just filmed a beginner's guide video for the Dynamic Disc channel on throwing a forehand. I would like to send it to you for approval before posting. Is it okay? Awesome.
I hate this. There you go.
I've just been roasting Simon for doing the "How well do you know your distance" challenge, and I'm like, dude, we did the rangefinder challenge, you donkey. I called him out. Everybody's like, oh my god, Simon did this really cool thing. It was like, we did basically the same thing like 2 weeks before.
I
this.
literally
Did
did
you see? Did you see the radar gun challenge thing?
I did.
Wait, we're
I
doing
did.
That was a lot
after
of
show
fun.
stuff, and I haven't even done it yet.
Yeah, guys, come on.
Oh my gosh.
Well,
Whose
Bobby,
fault is this?
get it together, man.
You didn't tell anybody.
Because Danny said, wait, during transition, let's talk about this. And so I didn't have it going.
Wow. You've been working on your Bobby impression. You nailed it.
Welcome to the after show.
Welcome
We in
to
here.
the after.
Dang it, Eric.
The laughs don't help. All right, so what were we going to
Stop
talk
looking
about?
at me, Eric.
So what are we talking about? What was the topic right before I hit record? Do we remember?
Danny, what were you saying?
Well, do we just start over here? or-
I don't remember.
It was
He
the radar
remembers.
gun.
Oh, the radar gun video. Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
You definitely got to do that next time you're in town.
totally. I remember doing that with Simon. We did a bunch of different things where I love when if you have like 10 people or you have a group of people, when you do one up. So how you do it is somebody starts it like I throw it 45 miles an hour. Next person has to try and throw 46. But now if they throw 48, the next person has to throw 49. So it's constantly changing. You're always trying to one up the previous throw before you. So it's a really, really fun challenge.
Nice.
I'm in
Yeah,
until we get to 50 miles an hour, and then
Yeah.
I'm probably
Robert, I don't think I've
can't
ever seen you throw 50 miles per hour.
go. No, that's fair. That's 100% fair.
Bobby and Robert's elbows. What do you think?
What? Oh, is that all you can see right now?
Yes, that's all you
We see a lot of your
Oh.
desk, yeah.
Hey,
Oh, hey.
Is that better?
What's up, guys?
There we go.
Oh, sorry. That they see us through the webcam.
oh man.
What was the question?
That wasn't really one. I
It was
just
for
bringing
your
attention.
elbow.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay,
Sorry, it was addressed at the elbow, please.
Yeah.
All right, so since we talked about a really cool topic before I hit record, what's another
Do
topic?
you want to bring it back up?
Go for it.
It was T-pads that are wider at one end and narrower at the other. Which side should face the target was the first thing that we talked about in between.
My
shows.
my rebuttal was just simply the fact that T-pads need to be big, way big, super big, so you can start from the back of a T-pad and do a full run up and still may not even reach the front of said T-pad type of thing. That's what I'm thinking.
Someone
Maybe
in
not
chat
James
said,
Conrad run up style.
Yeah, someone in chat said James Conrad approves this message.
Yeah.
Yes, and that's the thing is I've watched plenty of tournaments and played with James, and I've watched him being handicapped because of poor T-pad placement. Now I understand holes in the woods where there's trees, and that's a big ask. But too often, the step ups and the step downs on T-pads become a really big issue, and I think it's something that the PDGA should also be trying to implement as a rule that if you have to have a certain amount of safe space after a T-pad for it to be a legit T-pad that is being used.
Yeah.
So it needs to be flush with the ground. Then you have infinite amount of space forward to finish, and if not, you have to have at least, we'll call it 10 feet in front of that T-pad needs to be flush for player safety.
Guys, we got some super chats.
Couple super chats. Christopher coming in with $5. He says, from Nova Scotia with love. Thanks for the super chat, Christopher. We appreciate the 5.
Nice.
Diggin'
Thanks,
DG
man.
with another 5 said, that sound effect is what I imagine the bathroom Eric met his biggest fan in sounded like. Please confirm. Was it lots of pew pew pews?
We did not sword fight, sadly. So.
Fair enough. And then this is not a super chat, but a worthwhile comment. Brody Smith in here said, I'm about to do the how well do I know my rangefinder and disc challenge. I think it's going to be a really great new challenge. So,
Man, good brainstorm idea,
original.
Brody,
I'm just
Brody
saying,
bringing the
I'm just
fire.
Saying, listen, the man is a content machine. He's coming up with better ideas than you guys.
Right.
Okay, so
Now we know where
Always.
millions of
these are the
followers,
facts.
Why he has
I'm a
millions
fan-
of followers. All the
I'm
new
a big
ideas.
fan of Johnny V's throw up my co-host challenge.
okay, I like that.
No, that's Terry Miller, the disc golf guy, and we've all wanted him to get just smacked in the face with a disc golf for years now.
Dang,
so.
hateful. I don't want to throw at Bobby or have Bobby throw at me
Fair.
this time.
Hey, I got an idea that's new. Since
ready.
I'm in the disc golf, maybe I'll jump into a new sport like ultimate. Has anybody done anything like that? Cross
Sport stuff. Nope.
Nice.
Nope.
I'm going to take that idea and run with it.
Nope. Yeah, that's a good idea, except for like social distancing. So
that's true.
you can only throw longer shots than 6 feet.
And I already suck at
longer
disc golf,
passes.
so I'll probably suck at ultimate as well.
Yeah, I think you have a promising future in ultimate.
So
a lot of
your physical ultimate peak.
Dude, hey,
right now.
Yeah.
on the real though, here's a mini hot take as well. So here it is. One of my favorite activities to do outside
Nope.
is throwing an ultimate frisbee back and forth. I could throw an ultimate frisbee back and forth for
What is it for a hot
hours.
That's one of your favorite things.
I'm just saying,
I'm going to tell Shay.
hold on. I might I would do that before. I would do it before playing spike ball. Sometimes I might do it before playing disc golf. Just go throw a frisbee. I love just tossing a frisbee around. It's one of my favorite things to do.
That's your hot take?
But I'm saying if I get to a disc golf course.
This sounds
and
just
I'm
like favorite things of
Everyone
Robert.
listen. I get
Guys,
to a disc golf
frisbees
course.
are fun.
I get to a disc golf course.
Buy one.
Turns out.
Sometimes I'm saying, you know what? I don't really want to play disc golf. I'm going to throw this frisbee around instead. That's how strongly I feel about it.
No, I respect it. But
It's
I'd
so
rather
much
do it with
fun.
I'd rather do it with a
skill like
bite
that.
or a beetle.
Yeah, that's
I think
fine.
that's a little bit more fun. An ultimate disc is especially if you're going to go play disc golf and you're using it as something like that. If I'm just throwing an ultimate disc back and forth and I'm not about to play disc golf, then that's fine. But
Right.
if I'm going to play before a tournament, I love playing catch with a beetle or a bite. I think they translate a lot more to what you actually
Sure.
might use.
And I'm good with that too. Just like a catch disc, that's fine too. But
Yeah.
Think back, Eric, because you were here when this happened. We were at the Nashville Stadium experience. It was pouring rain. It was the worst. And
Yep.
we probably threw that aviator for an hour and a half.
Dude, just
The
getting
most fun.
wet.
It was
Yeah.
great.
Yep.
There you go.
That was quality times for sure.
That's all. That's it.
So Danny and Anthony put out a video this morning, the tic-tac-toe challenge. If you haven't watched it, make sure you go watch it. But I've seen a couple people post that they want to see Oakley and AJ Risley perhaps do it.
Which one is this?
It's this morning, so you might not have seen it.
Subscriber? This morning it was on our YouTube
watch
channel.
Oh, the
anything?
tic-tac-toe. Tina just mentioned it to us. Yeah. I think we're going to try and figure out how we set that up because it's going to be, we don't have what you guys had, an uphill slope
Yeah.
type of thing. I think we're going to go look at that field and
Yeah, all the beaches are in the way. Yeah, I get it. So
No,
terrible.
dude, we're not going to be the idiots who are going to the beach right now, even though it might be open. We're not going to be that stupid. Sorry, everybody just got triggered there.
I know.
If we were to do it again, we would definitely make the squares bigger because the center square was super hard.
Yeah.
Also, we would definitely.
It's AJ and I though. Got him.
Okay, never mind.
Got
Make it smaller.
Yeah, make it way bigger.
Wow.
Way bigger.
Even the ones that landed in the edges were very rarely in the actual squares, just because we made them out to infinity at work. But yeah, we would definitely make it bigger, and also we would put a scout basket in the middle, and if you ace the scout basket, you win.
Dang!
Ooh,
Now,
Did you just
that's
outright
good.
win? I'm interested.
That's a good
You win.
twist.
You win that game. It's still. What did we? Do?
No, you
you
outright
win a
win.
car?
No, you win everything.
You win a
The whole
car.
thing.
No, you win.
Competition over.
You win a
You
house.
win Bobby's car.
A house. Robert's house.
We did
Okay, you get
best
Robert's
of until
house.
we got bored, and we got bored after 3.
You do not win my house.
All right, cool. So yeah, I talked to
I
Tina.
need it.
I talked to Tina this morning about it. So yeah, it'd be kind of cool to see you guys do that.
Yeah, we'll definitely look into it. Be swan. Be swan. Be
Swan.
sweet. Be fun. Be sweet and fun. Swan.
Swan?
There you go.
There is
New
a
word.
word
It was
called
2 words,
sweet,
but you made it fun.
sweet.
Yeah. Whoa.
Oh,
This
upgrade.
meeting is now upgraded. I don't even know
What happened? What
You
part
know
of the
why?
show is this?
You know why? Because this is the media team.
Wait, get it? Like
The
right,
media
right
team.
there. Get it?
God,
Oh,
so sick.
dude.
Dude, Eric, does your shirt say media team?
No, this is dynamic disc, dude. So sick.
Mine doesn't either. I was asking.
Dude, I think I got it on my butt, too.
No! Oh,
Wait, what?
okay.
Oh, be dynamic? Oh, be my butt? So sick.
Dude, the best stamp placement. Just, yep. there you go.
god.
Yeah,
I
sorry.
gotta bring the eyes to the biggest piece of real estate. So like, that's just good marketing.
You know where the eyes are already, so
Danny, circling back to that Brody would pay $100 for someone to catch his throw from 30 feet. He said his highest ultimate frisbee speed is 81 miles an hour.
Dang!
I'm no math magician, but that seems like it's moving quickly.
wait, hang on.
Yes, I've actually tried to play guts and had
I'm no
Simon
geographic
Lizotte-
scientist, but
That's a short amount of distance. No, math magician was what was Duck Dynasty. Uncle Cy said that
I'm
one
no
time. I heard him
literary-
say math magician. I was like,
I'm
okay,
a literary
I will say that forever.
illusionist, but
I'm just saying.
What was it? There was a video of Paul Macbeth throwing like a 91-gram polecat. I think it was Kyle Sawtell. Does that sound right?
Yes,
Sounds right,
Yes,
yeah.
it was
Like
a
right in the
Sawtell.
back or something.
Never.
No,
He said
not
it
a chance.
He said it wouldn't hurt.
Dude,
He said it wouldn't hurt,
he
and you're
died.
an idiot for thinking that.
You can. I remember because
He's actually dead from that now.
you watch the slow motion of him just going. Oh.
I tried to
The
catch
worst.
Simon Lizotte's guts throw.
Yeah, that seemed like a mistake.
You mad?
It was awful, and like we went to the normal guts distance, and then I backed up like another 5 or 10 feet after a couple throws. Still couldn't catch him. It was if you have the right person throwing that hard, it's there's no chance. There's no chance. Like I don't understand how anybody would actually do it. And I'm
So in the
very good
hypothetical
at that
throw from
anyways.
Brody, do I have to try and catch it, or do I just have to
Yeah, you try to catch it.
hit it?
I think he said it's $100 if you catch it.
If you catch
If
it,
I
yeah.
catch it,
Yes. It's
How
not
many
$100 to
pillows?
stand there and just be target practice.
I mean, I was interested for target practice because I can just curl up in the fetal position and not worry about anything.
Oh,
But
you're still
okay,
worried.
he said I could wear whatever I want, so I'm thinking like pillows taped all over me, and I just try and.
Just go in the hockey
I think that'll
goalie
work.
outfit.
Dude, I'm down.
Just wear a bunch of duct tape and hope it sticks.
Okay, so
That's actually-
guts is 15 meters apart. 14 meters apart. So yeah, like right around 45 feet.
Catch it.
Yeah,
one
it has to be
hand,
one-handed. It can't be two.
Yeah,
You're dead.
I couldn't even catch Simon's two-handed.
I'm in it for the
I probably
content.
could've,
I
but I
don't
didn't
plan on
try.
succeeding.
I'm
Right.
so down to film that.
I already said I would film that and heckle.
Okay, you be catch cam. You
Nice.
Be behind
Okay,
Danny,
cool.
I'll be
Yeah,
behind
good
Brody.
idea. Good
I'll just
idea.
take a step.
For when Danny misses exclusively and it just smokes the camera / me. Good.
Yeah.
I'm in.
You did.
Like I said, I'm in it for the content, but I don't plan on succeeding.
Yeah. Slash the memes.
all right. So
The
what
memes.
what have you been doing, Eric, for during the coronavirus lockdown? You said earlier we talked about you playing video games, but you've been talking about some binge shows you've been binge watching. Tell us again what those shows are.
We're catching AJ up on Umbrella Academy and Stranger Things.
Now, there's only one season to Umbrella Academy, right?
Yeah, but he hasn't seen it.
Oh, okay.
I mean, like each episode feels like its own like mini movie, so it's pretty intense. So we could binge it in one day, but we've been bouncing back and forth playing music. We've watched plenty of John Oliver, Last Week Tonight stuff on YouTube, and then honestly, we just watch random YouTube videos from time to time. Yeah, that's pretty much it. We've been choosing a lot of movies. We watched Onward last night.
Oh, was that good?
So good. It was incredible. I would 100%.
That's on Disney Plus right now, right?
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And we are saving the Bulls documentary.
Ooh.
We're waiting because I feel like it's going to be one of those shows where you're going to be like, I have to wait for the next one.
Yep.
No, I don't want to do that. I want all of them to be out so I can watch it from the start through the end.
I was mentally prepared for that to be 2 hours, like 5 days in a row. And then when I found out it wasn't until next Sunday, I have not been that upset in a very long time.
Yeah, that's you hate to see it.
So what was I read some article about hello? Hi, Dinar.
Oh my gosh!
I do have one more I have one more show that I've watched one episode of, and that is fantastic, and it's called Sunderland Till I Die. It's a soccer documentary on a team. The team is Sunderland, and I watched one episode, and I was so hyped at the end of it, and I can't wait to watch. It's 2 seasons, and I can't wait to watch every episode they have on there.
Nice.
So there was something about the Michael Jordan show that they said that something from LeBron James sparked Jordan's allowing this footage to be released because he owns some footage. Did you guys check?
I haven't heard about that.
Do you guys know
I
that?
wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised.
Something where Jordan owned the footage of some event and he allowed it to be used in this documentary or something based off something LeBron James did.
Are you saying to like prove that he's the greatest or whatever?
I
like
have no idea.
Dude, speaking of arguments like that, y'all see Macbeth and Climo get into it on Facebook?
Yeah. What was that all about?
Fantastic.
They were just arguing who's the best?
They were getting after it a little bit.
Well, they're like
I loved it.
Kenny's dropping I've won 15 titles,
right.
And then Paul's only won 5. But then it's like, people are bringing up how many 1,000-rated players there are now compared to then, and then Kenny's like, well, we did this with lesser discs, and then Paul said, well, you played a bunch of pitch and putt courses. Of course, you didn't need the technology. And then Kenny's like, we had 1,000-foot holes. It's like, okay, cool. Still doesn't matter. I do think there is one thing that should be said. Kenny's awesome. Kenny is more like, I would call him, he's more like a Magic Johnson. He's more like a Larry Bird or somebody
Bill
even
Russell.
before that.
He's Bill Russell.
Bill Russell.
Yeah, that's
he's
a
the
good
kind
one.
of guy. He's the kind of guy that paved the way for LeBron's, Michael Jordan's, Magic Johnson's, Larry Bird's to happen. Like we wouldn't have Paul Macbeth if there wasn't a Ken Climo. There's just like that's the end of it. Is like
Hold on.
have
take me through the logic of that, because I hear the words that you're saying. I'm not sure that I agree with the concept. So
Hot take.
So talk to me about if there was no Kenny, there would be no Paul, because I'm genuinely curious.
So looking at understanding the dominance that Kenny had, you wouldn't have somebody that believing that is possible. And that bleeds into a mentality. So it's I look at Pele, Maradona,
Panama.
and then the
Pele's
transition.
from Panama. Sorry.
Pele is not from
He's
Panama.
Brazilian.
Oh, sorry.
Famously Brazilian.
Sorry.
So you look at those soccer players.
I don't know, but Pele is like the quintessential Brazilian soccer player before
Yes.
Ronaldo.
Hot take.
Yeah.
Pele's from Panama.
No, he isn't. Hot take.
So-
Okay, go ahead. Go
okay.
ahead.
I
Sorry.
gotta look it up
Yes.
because I thought he was from Panama. I'm sorry.
It's,
I'm not a big soccer guy. I'm sorry I messed up in front
Obviously.
of three
Obviously
soccer
you're not.
nerds.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes, but you have these soccer players that helped, kind of spawn what is possible. You didn't have somebody taking players on like Maradona did, and now you see Messi and Ronaldo doing these things constantly. And now you can use Barcelona as a whole team as an example. You didn't see teams passing the ball and keeping the ball like they did until now. Now you're seeing everybody do it. So the same transition I think happens of you're seeing these players now that are coming up that are much more both backhand and forehand strong.
Yeah.
And they have to be because now they're the product of the Paul Macbeth and Ricky Wysocki era, where you had those players, they had both of those games, and that's why they excelled past a lot of the other players, especially in the worlds of 6-round tournaments, 5-round tournaments, 4-round tournaments, because if there is just a day where you're setting up to throw your backhand turnover and the wind is absolutely terrible for a backhand turnover, but a sidearm can still fight the wind and work. If you don't have that sidearm, you just lost a birdie. You just lost a stroke to Paul Macbeth, who throws his destroyer sidearm or whatever disc he's throwing. Sidearm, parks it, game over. He gets a stroke on you, and it's something you're never going to get back. So that's what I guess is happening here. Is you don't have somebody who can have that dominance because Kenny did it,
Sure.
and Paul saw what was possible. If you go on a run, you can make it happen.
Yeah.
If you're physically ready. So that's why that's my transition.
I understand, but I'm not sure I agree.
No, I don't agree
Just
either.
because, all right, let's say that Ken Climo had never played disc golf, and during those years where he won like the 9 in a row and everything, that there is a different individual winner every time, or maybe like a 2-time. Barry won a couple times, something like that. I don't think that necessarily changes somebody like Macbeth's competitive mindset to where they think that something is less possible than they did before.
Do you think the growth of the sport would have happened without Kenny?
I don't know.
So that's the other part to think about.
No, it's
is
hard to say.
Having something so dominant, to have something so cool, to have a marketable player like Ken Climo to put his name on discs and have that type of impact. Yeah. That's the other part of what Magic Johnson and Larry Bird and Bill Russell and Michael Jordan then did for LeBron, was they made basketball super entertaining to watch. Same thing with the soccer players I mentioned before. That's the other part of that whole. They not only showed what was capable performance-wise, but they added to the growth to have the people like Paul Macbeth playing the game.
Sure, I can dig it.
No, but that might not be true. But we'll see.
What about if Climo was it? It would be the Schultz versus Stokely from the chat. Mm-hmm. Do you think that battle would have as much of an impact as the Climo Schultz?
There's actually a thing going on with Stokely and Converse. They actually have an online thing kind of going on social media.
Just about like what?
They're kind of razzing each other and calling each other out and stuff like that.
Nice. Tim in the chat says Lloyd Wema is the GOAT. So let's get back to
that's
the
a
facts.
very
back
cold
to
take.
Danny's point.
Super cold.
Do you think people in that era, like a Schultz v. Stokely or Converse,
if they won in a similar fashion and were using specific discs in a way that the way Kenny was, then I could see it. But I think that was the other part of it is Kenny was, he was doing things with discs that kind of helped elevate the game as well. Like he was, he wasn't always the farthest thrower, but he was the most accurate guy, and he was the guy who was making his putts and doing the things you're supposed to win titles. So there's a little bit to be said about that. So I think it could have been done. I mean, having played with Barry Schultz and Scott Stokely, I do think that both of them could have done it. It's all just very interesting to kind of to think about what if those players weren't there. It's like, there's a good chance that half of us wouldn't even be sitting here if they weren't there and they didn't grow the sport. There's an outside chance that happened.
Is it them as a person or their accomplishments more? Because I get what you're saying, the marketing.
Accomplishments.
Okay.
Accomplishments.
Yeah.
We're not talking personality, because we could have a off-camera phone call and we can go into 15 super well-liked disc golf pros that if people knew more about their backgrounds and who they are as people, in real life situations and in disc golf situations not on camera, they would not be liked as much.
Right.
I'll take the blame. Like I've had moments where I haven't shown my right colors, and I've had moments where I've showed frustration and I could have lost some fans, but that's a part of it. We're human beings, so you can't fault them for that. But people are being idolized, and sometimes they don't know the true colors underneath.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Robert since I heard him say "dang it" one time.
Dang it!
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Next time.
All right, cool. Well, I think we're good on the after show, and we probably need to get going with other stuff. So, thank you, Eric Oakley, so much for joining us on the Disc Golf Answerman Show, Hot Takes, and the After show. We appreciate
Thanks for having me.
all that you've done for disc golf and dynamic discs. If it wasn't for you, we'd probably still be here, but it's really cool having you here. So.
Yeah. There's a chance we'd still be sitting here, but we're even happier to sit here now because you're sitting
here,
there.
So we appreciate that.
Yep. I really enjoyed it, and I look forward for this all to kind of be done, so let's all stay safe and stay indoors and make good decisions.
Cool.
Be good.
All right, guys. Thanks so much.
Yeah.
We'll see you on the next one.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, so YouTubers, thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you. Make sure you tune in to Eric Oakley's The Whale Pants YouTube channel. Follow them on their social media because these guys are doing a lot to support disc golf and to make it cool and fun for everybody. So show them some love, show them some support. Something I forgot to talk about that hopefully is virtual GBO. We have starting next week virtual GBO. It's a last minute type of last minute ideas that started popping up, and it's really happening. We're gonna have stuff like an online beer fest. We're gonna have an online pro panel. We're gonna have Disc Golf Strong doing some training sessions and a live Q&A.
Nice.
We've got what are some other things? And then we're gonna have Smashbox TV. They're gonna do a GBO remix where they're doing a remix of past players playing in Emporia courses, and they're gonna mash it together. It's gonna be really cool. That's gonna be on Friday, and then on Saturday we're gonna have a virtual block party fly mart where we're gonna have several pros and some of the RV drivers get online and give you guys opportunity to show your support and purchase some really cool discs. Some of the stuff that were specifically created for the Glassbone Open actual block party, but now you'll be able to purchase them through the virtual block party. So make sure you stay tuned to all of our social media channels so you're up and up about that. Cool, guys?
That's it.
That's it. Thank you, YouTube. We'll see ya.
Eric, do you have any more of the Moonshine Lucid X Felons?
Oh, I do. Everybody should go to whalesacks.com and buy Moonshine Lucid X Felons.
I will not stop the YouTube.
So if any of you guys actually wants them, just let us know. We'll get you guys hooked up. But make sure you go to whalesacks.com. We still have them up. They can actually they're all over there.
Whoa.
They're all over there. Look at all those Moonshine Lucid X Felons. We went through quite a bit, and I think obviously if we would have had the GBO Fly Mart, we probably would have sold almost all of them, I think, but not being able to do that is a real thing, and it was better that we didn't.
All right. Anybody else got anything?
Cool,
Cool.
man.
Cool. All right, guys. We'll see you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.